Tyler here with GPKNIVES, and we're back again to take a look at the Spyderco Native 5. The Native has been a cornerstone of the Spyderco lineup since its introduction in the mid-90s and was originally developed to meet the demands of a mass market retailer and has stayed the test of time thanks to its well thought out design. Now we have quite a few variations of the Native 5 here, and the Native has obviously been through several previous iterations, but the Native 5 is the one being produced currently. We'll take a look at just your standard Native 5 in G10. This one has a blade of stonewashed S30V, which gives a great balance of performance for edge retention, corrosion resistance, and toughness. Spyderco round hole opening. You've got a nice leaf-shaped blade with a swedge out to a fine point. Fairly robust stock. Full flat grind. You've got jimping at the spine and on the forward finger choil, so you can get a lot of control of the blade. And then there is a rear finger choil in the handle that allows you to get a secure grip for push cutting. Handles on this one are black G10 with a fine texture, and these are linerless, reducing the overall weight. You've got a stout backlock that is very smooth to operate. And we'll take a look here. The tang of the blade is actually contoured to make the action of the knife very smooth and consistent. And you've got a nice seamless lock up there with no play. You've got a 4-position hourglass pocket clip with through lanyard hole. And overall, this is just a great everyday carry design. We'll take a look at it with the Spyderco Delica, another popular EDC. So you can see the dimensions are fairly similar here. You're going to get just a hair more cutting edge with the Delica, but it also does not have that forward finger choil. The blade stock is a bit more robust on the Native, but you can see it does taper nicely to that fine point. Functional grip area of just the handle is going to be about the same, but you can see that forward finger choil does give you a little more real estate there. Close these up. Both have a mid backlock and 4-position hourglass clip. So you can see the footprint is actually going to be fairly similar between these two, just a little bit shorter on the Native and a little less wide. So great carry option there. Both have the through lanyard hole as well. And despite the G10 construction, the Native is fairly lightweight, but we do have a few other options as well. They do make one G10 Native that has retained the stainless steel liners, and that is going to be the S110V model. So you're going to get a greater amount of wear resistance, sacrificing some sharpenability as well as toughness, but still retaining excellent corrosion resistance on the S110V. And you can see the interior of those stainless liners has been milled somewhat to help reduce weight, and it still has a very smooth operation on those stainless liners. Now the remaining Native 5s on the table here are all lightweight versions. I'll grab the one in the middle here, which is a fully serrated version in S35VN, though all of the Natives in the standard production line are transitioning to S30V from S35. Performance on that should be fairly similar. We got a black coated blade on this one, black bidirectional textured FRN. You got the same 4-position clip, but the clip style is a little bit different. And you've got a linerless FRN construction for very lightweight and a nice solid operation. Even the FRN handled versions are going to be very solid for the lockup and provide an excellent option for a lighter and less expensive EDC carry. Now the two here left on the table are more specialized versions of the Native 5 lightweight. we've got the Maximet version. Maximet being a tool steel that delivers some of the best edge retention you're going to get in a production knife. Now, as with all things, you are going to sacrifice somewhat. Maximet is not exceptionally tough, although it is plenty tough for everyday use. And it is not a corrosion-resistant steel, so some care is going to be required for maintenance. Distinguishing the Maximet model is the gray FRN, and otherwise, construction is going to be the same on that. Now, on the left here, we have the Native 5 Salt. This is part of the Salt line of Spyderco's knives, designed for use in highly corrosive environments. Now, to meet that demand, we've got a blade of LC200N, and that is going to be a highly corrosion-resistant steel. It is actually an aerospace bearing steel and is one of the most rust and corrosion-resistant steels used in folding knives. It also provides edge retention approaching that or on par with S30V, while being exceptionally tough and immune to rust. You've got black hardware on this with a bright yellow handle, and otherwise you're looking at the same construction as the rest of the Native 5 lightweights. Now, there are also some other knives in the Native family. We've got the Little Native, and this is made in a few variations, all with S30V blades. You've got Black G10, a compression lock instead of the back lock, though there is a back lock version being made. You've got a deep carry wire clip on this one. The back lock version is going to have the standard hourglass clip. Blade stock thickness remains the same, so you're going to have a slightly different geometry on the Little Native, but you've got a highly ergonomic and lightweight EDC that fits well into that leaf-shaped platform. We've got the much anticipated and recently released Native Chief. Now, this is just going to be a larger version of the Native, so same thickness and construction, just with the added length in the blade and the handle. And then the more robust Shaman, which is also part of the Native line, but has a few distinct differences. You've got a high height saber grind, so added thickness retained at the spine for increased durability. You've got a heavier stonewash on this one. Contoured black G10 handle scales, so you can see this is going to be a very ergonomic feel in the hand. You have the same 4-position clip. And again, like the Little Native, you've got a compression lock mechanism there. So if you're looking for a Native that is just going to be a little more robust, the Shaman is an excellent choice. You can see the size difference here between the 4. And I'll go ahead and grab the Manix 2 here for a little comparison. So you can see roughly the different size variations here. One thing to note with the standard Native is that you're getting about the same amount of cutting edge as the Manix 2 with that same forward finger choil and just a more compact handle and a more compact footprint. So you can see going to be a lot more compact for carry. Blade stock thickness is just a bit more robust on the Native 5, while the overall thickness is going to remain similar there. And then, of course, some people prefer the straight spine transition from the back as opposed to the hump that is found on many Spydercos like the Manix 2 and the Paramilitary 2. And just a quick shot with the Native 5, the Para 3, and the Spyderco PM2. Again, this is Tyler with GPKNIVES and the Spyderco Native 5. You can check it out now at gpknives.com. Thanks for watching, and stay sharp. If you like what you've seen today and you'd like to see more, like the video below, subscribe to our YouTube channel feed, and follow us on social media for updates on all new products.